Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited for my first episode of the new season. We have a great show, Mr. Andre Rieu, who joins us today, and he is the king of waltz. And we're going to be talking about his upcoming tour, successful career, and then you'll hear more music from Andre. Andre Rieu is a world-renowned violinist and conductor and one of the biggest-selling touring artists of all time. He has sold over 40 million albums and DVDs worldwide and amassed over 1 billion YouTube views. A true global star appearing on such shows as Dancing with the Stars, CBS This Morning, The Today Show, and PBS, and he is here today. Well, hi, Andre.
Hi, Betty.
Well, you've released a new album, Shall We Dance? What was your inspiration behind this album?
Shall We Dance, I think, is, dancing and singing and music. That's why we travel the world, to make the people happy. And dance, of course, is one of the most important things, to be happy. So let's dance, shall we dance? That's what I want to bring to the United States.
Your album has some beloved classic songs like Bolero, Love and Venus. How did you choose the song selection for your album, and will you be playing those in concert?
The people always ask me, how do you choose your music? With my heart, only with my heart. And when I tell this all over the world, the people, they applaud. You know why? Because that is what is so important in music. It's the heart, and it's that the answer. I try to play with my heart. My whole orchestra, I formed my whole orchestra around me, and the only thing they have to do is be there with their heart, 100%. When a musician is sitting there earning his money, no, not with me. You have to be there. Every night, again, I try to make this interaction with the audience, and that's what the audience feels.
In watching your concerts, you can see that the fans are really connected by their laughing, smiles, crying. You have the power of happiness. Is that what you bring to your concerts?
You know what I would like to do is send the people home happy. These days, where so much things are happening, now in Las Vegas, again, people want to come to my concert and forget 3 hours everything and only be happy. The world is beautiful, the world is magnificent, and let's try to see that.
Well, the world certainly needs a lot of love and happiness, and that's what you do. Well, I understand you have 110 people on payroll and the biggest private orchestra in the world, and you take responsibility for everything. Talk about that.
Yes, I have a 60-piece orchestra, 65. I'm told that I have the biggest private orchestra in the world. I'm the only stupid one to do that. But I tell you why. Because I was in a classical orchestra myself and playing beautiful music, Beethoven, Bach, Rachmaninoff. And my colleagues, they only spoke about the union, about money. It's too cold, it's too hot. When is the next holiday? Nobody spoke about the music. And then my wife saw that I was every day more unhappy when I came back from the rehearsal. And you know what she said? Andre, I'm going to earn the money for you so you can follow your dream. And my dream was to form an own orchestra of my own with young, enthusiastic musicians around who play with their heart. And that's what I do now.
Well, Andre, how do you compare the audiences in the United States versus in other parts of the world?
Well, I'll tell you something. There's no difference. No difference at all. All the people in the world have a warm heart. And all the people in the world come to the concert because they want to be happy and they want to forget everything around. And they want to stand up and they want to cry and they want to dance. That's what I feel. Also, when I come to the United States, the people travel thousands of kilometers in a car to come to the concert. And I think one thing I must say in the United States, the people who come to my concert are so hungry to hear beautiful music that makes them happy. And that's fantastic when you're on stage.
One of the top 10 grossing tour artists for 8 years, straight from 2009 to 2016, alongside the Rolling Stones, Coldplay, Madonna, and others with your classical music. This is unbelievable.
I think it's unbelievable that a classical violinist is in the top 10 of the ticket selling. You're right, but I think it's because that's my difference between me and the so-called classical music, is that I try to play with my heart, really, every night again, because therefore I'm extremely nervous the last 5 minutes before the show. Then nobody has to speak to me because I'm concentrated, and you know why? Because I want to start from zero. We know what we do, but what I don't know is the interaction with the audience. You know, I see these 10,000 people sitting in front of me, and I don't know them. They don't know me. We have to know each other, and that's a very, very good feeling. But it's also a very terrifying thing. How do you say that? We have to start over every night again. And that's, you know, when after 3 hours, we know each other and the people are dancing and screaming for more, more, more. That gives me a very rewarding feeling. I have everything in my head. The way I want to hear the music, the way I want to let play my orchestra, the way the girls have their dresses. You know, I'm a man, so I have to look at them. And then, you know, the chairs and the light and the screens, everything. And I have it in my head, so it's much easier that I tell the people what to do than some manager or some lightning guy. I know everything in my head, and so it's much easier to do that, and the line is very short. We have a very little crew, and we know each other now for 25 years. So my orchestra, the sound engineer, the light engineer, my technicians, the man who's sitting now behind the camera, and the sound engineer. We know each other all years and years and years, and that gives a warm feeling and a fantastic result.
And we'll be right back after these messages.
And it had the same success in England and in Europe, and now we are working on the third one.
Well, I'm just carried away with the way you play the violin. What kind are you playing now? So,
first, some 8 years ago, I had another Stradivarius. It was from 1667, and that was his second violin. He was 22 years old, and it was rather small. And it was, in fact, too small for me. So I sold it, and now it's a little South Korean girl playing on it with her little fingers. Now, because Stradivari was 90 years old and working his whole life, I have another Stradivari from 1732. That is one of his last. And I was looking for a Maria Callas sound. You know, Maria Callas, she had this huge range. She could sing warm and very high and very dramatic, and there was this dramatic sound in her voice. And that's what my violin had. So the moment I found it, I was so happy. And I must tell you, it's a part of my body now.
So tell us about your documentary series, Welcome to My World, on Ovation TV, and what can we expect to see?
First series we made for Sky Arts in England. And, you know, camera was following us and looking around, and backstage. That's an interesting, I can tell you, when I was in this classical world, all my colleagues, we played beautiful concerts, and then the last note was there, the last applause, and whoops, they all went home to their wives. And of course, I love my wife, but after a beautiful concert, you want to sit down together and speak to your colleagues. Oh my God, that was a night we will never forget. But it never happened. They all went home. So I said to myself, when I have my own orchestra, I want to have an after snacks with a lot of food and a lot of wine, And that's what we need, you know. After 3 hours, making the people happy, you need that. We need a lot of red wine to come down. A lot of people write me and say, Andre, I needed 2 weeks to come down after your concert. And that's the things you see in the Welcome to My World series. I think it's a lot of people see me only on stage during the concerts, but when they see the series, they say, is that Andre? Oh my God, I love him even more. So I'm very happy that we could make it. Now we made the second series, and it had the same success in England and in Europe. And now we are working on the third one.
Andre, thank you so much. You have been such an inspiration, and I am so excited that you're coming to Portland, Oregon on the 29th of October at the Moda Center. So everyone, get your tickets, buy his album, and so you can be romanced in the waltzing and the dancing and everything that this powerful man is all about. Thank you so much, sir, and we'll be right back after these messages. And now let's hear music performed by Andre and his orchestra, the Blue Danube.
him wherever he may go. And near him I always will be, for nothing can keep me away. He is my destiny. I will follow him. Ever since he touched my heart, I knew there is an ocean to thee, a mountain so high it can keep me I love it, and where he goes I follow. I will follow him wherever he may go. There isn't an ocean too deep, and mountain so high it can keep me away. I will follow him wherever he may go. There isn't an ocean too deep, mountain so high it can keep me away from his love. Oh yes, I love him. I'm gonna follow true love. He'll always be my true love, from now until forever. Yes, I love him. I'm gonna follow. He'll always be my true love. There isn't an ocean too deep, a mountain so high it can keep me away from his love. Follow him wherever he may go. Ocean too deep, a mountain so high it can keep me away from his love. Yes, oh yes, I love him. I wanna follow him. True love, he's always been my true love, forever and forever. I love him, and where he goes I follow. He'll always be my true love, my true love, from now until forever. There isn't an ocean too deep, a mountain so high it can keep me away from his
You've seen a man whose life at least has been so bound up with his work that the story of his personal life would sound pretty much the same as the story of his career. A son of a conductor, a man who wasn't born with a silver spoon, a man who created and filled his dreams. You can create your own memo, fill your own blanks, create your own dreams. You start now with a fire in your heart and faith in God. Now go out to the staircase of life. You may not see the stairs, but just take a step, and I'll see you next time.